Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 106. We're back here with you. I'm Ryan. I'm here with my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin. How you guys doing tonight?
Swell.
Oh, I'm doing.
Oh,
Okay. You want to finish that statement, or that's just it?
No, I'm
he's
doing.
doing.
I'm doing.
Okay.
You know, like that's what the kids say these days. I'm doing.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Like what kids?
I don't know any kids. So I have no clue.
What all the gamers are saying?
Yeah, sure.
Doing.
Sure, someone says that somewhere. It's catching on.
Do.
I just do.
They will now.
Do the do.
Yeah. Just doing.
Hashtag I'm just doing.
Mm-hmm.
Get that out
It's
there.
gonna be everywhere tomorrow. Just watch it. It's gonna explode.
Well, we got a very special topic tonight that we'll get into. I'll stop that. But before we do that, just a quick update. Galaxy's Edge is open, officially open at Disneyland. We will be doing a podcast about that later on. I was trying to get the guys to come with me. I started this campaign on Facebook. Hey, pay for the guys to come with me. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's funny," but nobody wanted to give me money. So
No.
Yeah, weird.
sorry.
I had an idea a long time ago when like the Kickstarter things started up, like the Indiegogo and all that stuff, or Indigo, whatever it's called. And that I was like, why don't people just start these things for themselves and say, like, I need some money, I want to go on this trip, I can make. And then I realized, that's like for people that are trying to do better things in the world and not just go on trips. But I did write a blog. I do remember I wrote a blog one time because I used to try to blog. And I was trying to convince people to give me money to go to Disney World. I had this really convincing argument, I'm sure.
So if you want to send Katrin and Chris to Disney World with me in September, just let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We'll give you our PayPal account that you can send us money.
But
We have PayPal?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've got
Oh, I've got one.
or you can cash me. That's what the kids
Cash
say.
me.
You can
cash
send
me, bro.
You can send people money through like Facebook now. It's crazy.
I don't think I would do that.
I don't want to do that.
I'm just saying anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like Facebook
Yeah,
Messenger. You can do it. It's weird.
Yeah, well, people like for their birthdays and stuff on Facebook now set up like these like things like
Fund or instead of give me a present, donate to this cause.
donation things and stuff, and like I don't want to put anything through Facebook. Like,
I know.
Oh well, when I said anybody want to donate money so Chris and Katrin could go to Disney World with me, it said, "Would you like to set up a donate button?" And I'm like,
I would.
Yes, please. And done.
And anyways, so Galaxy's Edge is open. I have been watching videos of it. I shouldn't have. I should have left it a surprise, but it's one of those things like I'm not going to Disneyland anytime soon, even though it's going to be the same in Disney World.
It's
Just like Tom Holland, you can't help but spoil it.
I know, but I watched it, and the more and more I watch those Savi lightsaber builds, the more and more I want to do it. But I'm like, it's $200. I can't do that. But then I'm like, well, it's not like I'm buying the $25,000 R2 unit that they have for sale there, So
jeez.
You should just do that.
You should do that instead.
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder if they'll actually sell one of those. I don't know. It's just like, and part of me is like, can you just like sell me lightsaber for cheaper and not do the experience part of it? Because I just want to play with the kyber crystals. Because the cool thing is you can buy different colored kyber crystals, put them in the lightsaber, and it'll change the color of the blade and the sound of the blade, which is really cool. And you can 1 in 100 shot of getting a black kyber crystal.
Ooh.
I've seen them; they're cool. But they make the blade red. just like the red one.
Well, I wondered if it'd be more like a black light when you said that, because I didn't know anything about it. But I was thinking black light, which would be purple, which they do have.
Yeah, I think that's. What,
I don't know.
I think.
Oh, yeah, I thought it would be like black, like the Mandalorian blades.
Yeah,
like
but they can't really do that.
I don't see why not.
You
could do
can't
something
make
like that.
black light. Black is the absence of light.
They have black lights all the time.
Those are
That's
purple
what I
though.
Or
Or they're calling them violet there. It's not purple lightsaber, it's a violet lightsaber.
Oh,
it's
Like,
purple.
Whatever. I don't think Mace Windu would call his lightsaber violet.
He goes,
hand me my violet lightsaber.
this is Mother Purple.
But so they have yellow, white, violet, red, blue, green, and then the black one. I think that there was a mistake in China or wherever they got it made, and they made some black ones, and they're like, "We'll sell these to you really cheap." And they're like, "We'll figure out something to do with them."
Yeah.
All the colors ran together, and they're like, "Oh, oops."
But it stinks that it's still red. I mean, they could have done
Yeah.
something else with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a different shade of red or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Or could have just made it black.
They could have just made
It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be it? You just have that white plastic or whatever that.
Exactly.
Yeah, no light at all.
They could have made it like a dark purple.
Yeah. They could have
Oh,
they
yeah.
could have done like a dark purple, dark gray. They could have done something.
Yeah.
But
Oh, well.
no. But I still want it. But there's a trick. So they come in these little capsule things. We're going to get to what we're talking about in a minute. And so they come in the red ones is where you could find them. And if you take your phone's flashlight and hold it up to it, you can see sort of what is inside of it. So you just have to go through all of them until you find one.
The black one.
Sir, please just pick one, sir.
Please, we got like 100 other people waiting. Come on.
Leave me alone.
It'll go faster if you help me.
Yeah. In the Savi's lightsaber build, you can only choose between red, green, blue, and violet. So you can't choose yellow or you can't choose white. So somebody like there's this guy on YouTube, his name's Dano, the Dano channel, and he's bought like all the crystals and like 2 or 3 of the lightsabers and a legacy lightsaber, and he took a yellow one in there and said, "Can I just use my yellow one?" And they looked at him like he was stupid and like, "No, sir, you have to pick one of ours."
Oh.
I was like, "Sorry." And then I found out the legacy lightsabers, because Chris, you were talking about those.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, the legacy lightsabers are the ones that's already built that are from the movies. You can get Luke's, you can get Mace's, Ahsoka's, Darth Maul. Darth Maul, you can hook them together. You have to buy 2 of them and hook them together to make the big one. But everybody was thinking, oh, well, I could get the Savi build one that comes with a blade, because the legacy ones don't come with a blade. And then I can just use my blade on the legacy one that I bought. They made it so the legacy blades, or for the Savi blades, will not fit the legacy ones.
Oh, of course they did.
Jerks.
So if you want a blade for your legacy one, that cost it like $50 extra, or 40 to $50 extra on top of the 100 and whatever dollar you spend.
I don't know. I think I'd rather have a legacy one though still, because I don't know, like the ones that I've seen that are the build your own ones, none of them have really been like, oh, that one looks really cool. And there's like some weird tooth on the bottom of some of them. I don't know what it is.
So that's the elemental ones, and that is a Rancor tooth.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Well, you don't have to get that. There's 4 different categories. There's power and control, peace and justice, defense and something, and then elemental. Elemental is like nature. The defense one is like the old guard, like stuff they'd find in the Old Republic, which they were making a movie of that. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Yeah. And then the peace and justice is like what you would see a Jedi have, and then the power
Mhm.
control is like the Sith. So the peace and justice
Uh-huh.
ones don't look that bad. They're actually look thinner than the other ones. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not as bulky as the other ones, but they're all made out of metal. That tooth is made out of a hard plastic, but the rest of it's
Yeah,
metal.
it looks like hard plastic. That's why I'm just kind of like, eh.
If I was to do it, I would probably either do the Old Republic style, or just like the Peace and Justice Jedi style. But it's $200. But I just like that you can switch the color of the blades to like whatever color you want to.
Yeah.
I feel like being evil today.
Yeah, and they make different sounds. I saw a video. They put a different color in the same, blade thing, and each color has a different sound.
What?
Yeah,
Hmm.
That's cool.
yeah, it's so cool.
That's cool.
Maybe I'll just find a black crystal and just get the crystal.
There you go. Just have the crystals.
Just wear it around my neck.
What about the Billy crystal?
Man.
But don't.
Anyways, I've also heard that the blue and green milk are like drinking
Nasty?
wallpaper paste.
Yeah.
Sounds it.
Ugh.
It's funny. I saw one person say that it's really good, but the other ones were like, I think I would only do it once. It was fine. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but it wasn't terrible. But it wasn't something I'm going to go pay $10 for, almost $10 for every time I go. It's not something I have to have, because they said it kind of tasted sour in a way.
The only people that I've seen there were like, "This is great," are the people that at the beginning of their video say, "And Disney sponsored me to come on this trip.
Thanks for bringing me on.
Thanks for bringing me out here, Disneyland."
Yeah.
They're like, "It's wonderful."
Yeah.
Everything here is great.
Cut, and then he vomits into the trash can.
I guess I have a hard time thinking about too, like and I guess it's a little bit different, but it when I hear the word milk, I'm like, that's not something I want to drink when it's hot outside. But I think it's thinner than, and it's not like milk like we think of milk.
It's coconut milk.
Yeah, and it's more like a I don't know, like a fruity drink, I guess. But from what I've heard, but I still don't. I don't really buy a lot of that stuff anyways when we're there. We'll get our desserts, but there's not a whole lot of crazy things that we go to get, and that's not something I came away from the movie like, that would be cool if they sold
that. Really, after Luke milked that one thing and started drinking it, you didn't want to?
I don't know why they thought that was like a really good idea, but
I still think they should have had a giant creature above the dispenser, and it
What do you see? Have you seen what it looks like where you buy it at the stand? They have these huge hourglass looking things hanging above you that looks like it has the milk in it, and they're all rusty and nasty looking. It's like, I want some of that.
Delicious.
Well, when you're in the I was going to say the future. When you're in a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago, and things are kind of bad, then that's what happens.
Everything tastes bad. There.
Everything tastes bad. Well, it's like that gross thing that Ray puts in the water, the ration or whatever it was, the portion or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it makes that muffin like thing, and it's just like, that looks nasty.
That was a real thing.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did. You could eat, and it didn't look good.
Yeah. But I can't wait to go and hear more about it.
Sure.
The Falcon looks pretty cool. I've heard that you want to be a pilot. The rest of the positions are sort of like,
Yeah.
Kind of figured.
The droid building looks okay. Like, it's kind of cool. You have this conveyor belt as the parts are going by, and you pick out your pieces, and it's like, that's kind of cool. And then you go to this little station and try to build it. The people I was watching, they were having problems building theirs, and they needed help. And there were only like 2 people working it for like 20 stations or something, whatever it was, and they were like, there's just not enough people. They just need a few more people back here to help. But especially when they first open, you'd think that there's going to be plenty of people wanting to do this. You might as well have too many people working it because you'll be fine. And but they said it was kind of cool, and it was. I don't know if y'all saw any of it, but it was cool because you can buy a thing to give your droid a personality.
Yeah.
And it costs a lot, but it was neat how they put it together, and then they put it on this thing, and it moves around, and it kind of lights up, and you get this little remote control, and you can move around. I was like, that's pretty cool. I still don't think I'd buy
Yeah, $100. The Dano guy got one, and he said, so is it worth it? And he goes, well, he said, if you buy 2 of them, it's worth it.
Huh.
Because once you get them home, they don't do anything. They don't
What?
have anybody they don't have anybody to interact with. In the park, they interact with the park.
Oh.
But when you get it home, it just sort of sits there like, yep, there's nothing around here for me to interact with.
Huh.
So if you have 2 of them, then they'll interact with each other.
Well, so does that mean there's going to be people running around with these droids all over Star Wars
But
land?
no, because the rule is, this is the dumbest thing. Just like the robes that you buy, you cannot have your lightsaber out and you cannot have your droid out. It has to be in the box or that expensive backpack that you buy.
Oh, no.
Well, how is it supposed to interact with things at the park?
It will just, like, when you walk past stuff, you'll hear it in the box going,
No.
bloop, bloop.
Oh.
Thanks, box.
I understand the reasoning. I mean, there's so much going on, and you don't want people like having saber battles in the middle of the area there. But that's kind of a letdown in a way as a somebody going there. It's like, oh, what do I do with this? Especially. I mean, that would be one reason for me to not get any of those things, because I don't go just to a park just to go to this one little area and then go back home. I'm going to go do all these other rides, go eat dinner, go shopping, whatever. I don't want to carry all that crap around. But you can get it sent to your room, right?
There you go.
For a fee now, I think. It's like you have to pay a fee.
Oh, really? You got to pay a fee now?
Or no, I think it's just for groceries. But anyways, you can have it sent to your room, I guess.
I want to know, if I wore a straight up bathrobe to Star Wars Galaxy Edge, are they going to make me take it off?
Well, it depends on if you're wearing anything underneath it.
Well, I could be like, see, I wore my Jedi robe. Just get like a brown bathrobe, and you're like, what do you mean? This is just my robe.
This is my native clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Anyways, I didn't mean for this to turn into, let's talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge a lot, but
that's what's going on. I mean,
it happens.
But
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they learn from this experience, which it's going to be a little bit different at Disneyland because of how they're doing it. But if they do some of these things at Disney World, like with the hour, you're there for 4 hours. You can get a reservation. If they'll do that,
they're not doing it at Disney World. They've already said that.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if they might change their mind.
They're going to have early or extra magic hours from 6 a.m. to
that's right
9 or something. Which I may do like one day when I'm there, but I don't see myself getting up that early. And they'll be open to like 10.
One thing I thought was interesting, and I mean it makes sense, but they said that the rest of the park was you could get on any ride you wanted to because everybody was sitting there waiting to get in. But the thing is, they couldn't just wait there. They had to have a reservation.
Yeah.
But they said they assume people are just not going because they're like, well, I can't get in there and it's going to be crowded. I might as well not go. I guess is what they're kind of assuming. So it's like, man, that'd be the ideal time to go.
Yeah, ride everything else. They already have changed the way to get into the cantina. First, it was like a line; you had to stand and wait. Now, because the line was basically wrapping all the way through all the streets. Now they've made it where you get they'll text you when you can come back in.
Yeah.
So they've done that. Anyways, let's get to what we're talking about tonight.
Oh,
we're like 20 minutes in.
That's all right.
So it's summertime. Kids are out of school. You may have
summertime.
Yeah, you may have family visiting like I do right now, and you're bored. and you're looking for something to do.
You got family visiting and you're bored.
Yeah. You're all just sitting
Everybody's
around
tired.
like, oh, what we're gonna do? Well, you want to take it back old school, maybe. No screens. So you go to the old game closet. Everybody has one. And you open it up, and the moths fly out, and the dust hits you in the face. And you pull out the old game boards. So tonight, we're going to talk about board games. And everybody's excited, I can tell. Katrin thought of this idea, so if you don't like it, I like it, though. It's going to be fun.
It's gonna be fun. We've got a quiz at the end, so be sure to listen all the way through because
You could win a prize.
you won't win a prize.
Yeah.
You will have fun. So, yeah. I thought it was a great idea. My son and I and my family, we love playing board games, and Brian sneezing. We were, in fact, we played some games tonight. We played like 4 or 5 different games, and which is amazing because you think about board games taking forever. But we played Cooties, we played Candyland, and then we played Guess Who. And then a couple of card games. We played Crazy Eights and Memory. And my son is the master of memory, probably because he's young and we're getting old and forgetful. But I did beat him one time in Memory, and I almost beat him in Guess Who. But
I was usually pretty good at memory. That was one of the games I was really good at. Now that I'm older, I don't know if I'd do well at it now or not. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little more difficult, I think, as we get older. But but this weekend we were at my in-laws, and there's an Xbox 360 sitting there that is for all the grandkids to play. And one of the games on there is Risk. And it's called Risk Factions, which I did a little bit of research on it, and it's not a game that you can download anymore. In fact, if you have it on your Xbox and it's online, it will uninstall because you're not supposed to have this game. So I was really upset though because it's a fun game. He said, let's try this one, and he loved it. He loved playing Risk, and it's one of my favorite games. We played it a lot in college, and it took hours to play. It was one of those you had to devote a lot of time to, and but man, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I've never actually played Risk. We got a Risk board game to play at some point because we're like, we should play Risk. We've never played Risk. And we always sit down and I pull out the instructions and like, maybe we'll do this another time.
Yeah. No, that was always the good thing is I was probably in the same boat, but there was always somebody there that knew a whole lot about it, like Greg Jones and I think Jay Thomason played with us a lot, and Dave Campbell, and there was a lot of us that would play, and they would tell me, it's like, you need to do this. You need to get these. Here's these cards. You get these now, or whatever. You get these armies, because my son and I played. After we played those board games, we ended up playing Risk on my phone. There's an app; it's free, and there's different modes, and it basically does it, all that for you. You don't have to think about like, oh, I get this many armies because I own this many territories, and it's fun. I liked it. The cool thing about that Factions game though that was on Xbox is that it had these just different perks that you could get that you would never get on a board game. It was like you could get this rocket if you took over these certain territories, or certain things, and then it had all these animations to go with it. So I don't know why it didn't last. It's really kind of weird, but there's some other ones out there that you can download that have some animations to them. But anyways, that's kind of what got me thinking about it. That maybe we could talk about what were our favorite board games growing up, and what are the top games out there. So,
oh, I'm back.
Oh.
Welcome back, Ryan.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you left?
Yeah, nobody noticed. Okay. Yeah, so should we start with what are we doing? Top 3, top 5? What are we doing? Top whatever you
Yeah.
want to tell. Chris has like
Yeah,
top
sure.
1. He's like, oh, let me find a game real fast. I like shoot
what
some
do I
letters. Hi ho Cheerio.
We have those.
Twister.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Twister.
Oh, we know why Chris likes Twister.
Twister was the college game.
Yes, it was. That was actually the first time I ever played Twister, I think. Maybe in youth group or something we played it, but I feel like we played it in college.
Oh,
Yeah, we played
story
as
there?
kids, and then like
Not really.
Me and my roommate one night we just had to play Twister.
What should we do? I got a Twister back there.
Hey, I don't know, right hand red? I don't know. Yeah, that was that game. You played as kids, and then when you hit high school, suddenly it's just like, oh, let's play Twister.
Oh yeah.
It's bad that I could see Kate turn into like his roommate wanting to play Twister, and they're like, "Who's gonna spin for us?" And then like one of their girlfriends comes over, and is like, "Hey, can you spin this for us so we can play Twister?" And she's like, "Really? Okay."
Oh, do I get to play? No, it's just us.
Guys, honey. No. That
That's
does not happen. That does not. No. Well.
You know what? Huh? What?
No. One of the things I was thinking about though too is there were games that when I was growing up that I never had and I always wanted to play, and other people had them, and I thought they would be great, and they turned out to not be great. Later on, found out. But like Mousetrap. Did y'all ever play Mousetrap?
We had Mousetrap. It
Yeah.
never worked.
That's what I heard. Yeah. Because I was like, that looks so cool to have that. To make it do its thing. Go through all the little hoops or whatever to make
it never worked.
No.
That's
It was
unfortunate.
cool to put together. And then
Yeah,
you would
it
be
was-
like, well, what do you do now?
And pieces eventually started getting misplaced and disappearing, and
Yeah.
never knew what happened to it.
Oh, I'm
and
sure. Yeah.
Then it just gets shoved in a closet.
It's another one I always thought about was Operation. I think I played it a couple times as a kid. We own it now, but it was so hard. But I always thought that's the coolest thing. It's got that zzz thing on it. And,
I saw that they made that easier now. Like they
oh yeah, it's not
for,
that.
for
well, with,
today's kids.
technology, like surgical procedures are easier now. So
Ah, well, yeah, that makes sense.
You have lasers now.
yeah.
It comes with the nurse that you just tell the nurse what to do, and
Yeah.
just as a
No, that's a different game.
oh, okay.
But
that's Twister again. Sorry.
But they made all these different kinds variations of that game, I guess. Like there was an alien one, I think, and different kinds of beings, I guess, that you could.
Yeah. There's
I
the
don't
one
remember.
where it's like, we don't want the cops to find out, and it's like a back alley like operation.
Yeah, there's that. With that one, you got to take the kidney out and then put it in a thing of ice,
Yeah.
and,
And
and then it wakes up in the morning and asks like, "What happened?"
Charlie wakes up in a bathtub. It's like, where am I?
That reminds me. I watched a comedian and he was like, I had knee surgery and the doctor came in and he wrote his name on my knee and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, so I remember which knee it was. He goes,
Yeah.
can you please get me another doctor that will remember which knee without using a Sharpie? And then he was like, and then they said, who's your emergency contact? And I said, I don't know, another doctor? It's funny. I don't remember who it was. I think it was one of those Facebook things that pops up, like the comedians, like the dry bar comedy or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, there's tons of like just funny. Like we had Kerplunk, that was a funny one.
Yeah, that was one I wrote
Yeah,
down. I love that
book.
game.
I wrote that one down too.
We have a newer version of it. It's Tumbling Monkeys, but it's It's like you drop these monkeys over the sticks, you know, and it's in this big tree, and you pull
And
the
then you
sticks
set it
out.
on fire underneath.
No,
No,
don't do that.
different game.
Yeah.
All right,
We
so
had-
go ahead.
I was gonna say we had a Mad Magazine game that I loved. That was pretty cool. I don't remember much about it, but that was a really interesting game. And then we had an ET game, and we'll go on. But we never figured out how to play it. I don't. I think my parents just threw it down there and were like, "Here it is," because I loved ET growing up, and it had the figure, and I probably still have it somewhere. But and there was this big board, but none of us could ever figure out how to play it. So like, did they not have instructions back then, or what? Why did we not know how to play that? What was that?
We had a version of Clue, which was really fun, that had a video to it.
Videotape Clue, yes, we did.
It was videotape Clue. Like that started to be big, where like you had a videotape and then it was CDs where it would like play stuff on the screen.
I rarely remember playing the game. I just remember us just watching the video.
Yeah, we mostly
Just
watched the video.
That's fun.
And you'll be like, "Stop here," and we're like, "No, just keep going."
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I watched that a bunch
Mm-hmm.
because I really like Clue. But you know, one of my favorite movies was Clue, which is based on the board game Clue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that other Clue. It's like, ooh, it's another Clue movie. So should we start with our top 3, 5, whatever you guys want to say? Who wants to go first? Chris is ready.
I can if you want.
Chomping at the bit.
I got so many bits I'm chomping on. Well, I'll start with this one. I actually have it with me.
Oh, he brought props.
He's brought props.
I brought props. It's called Utter Nonsense. It is a newer game that I've discovered. That no, it's not fucking.
Oh.
It's a card game basically. And so what happens is, I wrote this down so I can know.
What happened was
you have you're playing with a group, and the players select a judge based on whose breath is the most repulsive. Then determining that they are the judge for the first round. You're handed all these different cards, like 4 or 5 cards or whatever, and each of the card has different sayings on them. Like the first rule of Pancake Club is syrup on the side. Another one is Elsa dominates freeze tag. Or is there a synonym for cinnamon? I need a cinnamon synonym. So it's just random phrases. So there's a family version and an adult version. The adult version gets a little crazy. So basically you have all these phrases, and then the judge picks a card which has like a character type on it. And so they'll pick a card and it'll say pirate. And each of the players have to pick one of their phrases in their hand and say that phrase as that character, like as a pirate or Scottish person or something like that. And then the judge kind of picks who did it best. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like the best impression. It could be the funniest impression. I mean, cinnamon, it's just like grandma, or you have to sing it or things like that. And it just gets really funny with the group of your friends, especially the adult version. But it's funny. I like it. It's something that we could maybe try on the show sometime.
Oh, good, because I don't have friends to play with. So.
Can you mail us the cards?
Yeah.
Well, I could take pictures and send them to you.
Oh, okay.
And then I can pick one. So there's like vampire, and then there's like the judge can decide like a cartoon character. The judge picks a cartoon character, and everybody's gonna do it. Chewbacca is one of them. British scared Elmo, Donald Trump. There's all kinds of stuff.
A British scared Elmo, huh?
British scared Elmo.
How's that go? How would that go?
That's just a phrase. The British scared.
I don't just want you to do like a British version of Elmo that's scared. Could you do that?
Gosh. Probably not.
You have to get to Elmo first.
Yeah, I have to get to Elmo. I can't.
It almost says like Dobby. It's Dobby. That's the British Scared Elmo.
It is a British Scarecrow.
It is.
Mister gave me a shot.
Oh wow, this is gonna be fun. editing. Anyway, so your first game that's your top game is one that nobody's heard of. Okay,
Exactly.
Well, that's good.
It's good. I like it. Sounds fun.
Yeah. It's a fun game. It's a good game. I enjoy it.
Got any more, or is that just it? That's all the game.
Well, I can do more. Do we want to go around? Everybody do one? Or?
Oh, we can go.
I can do it.
Is that your
Yeah.
top? Is that your top game?
I mean, it's one of my top ones. Another one would have to be Settlers of Catan.
Never heard of it.
I've never played it. I know a lot of people have, and I never did get to play it.
It always looks, and I'm sure it's not. I'm not meaning to offend anybody, but when I've seen people play it, I'm like, wow, that looks boring.
Jeez.
I'm like, what?
It's-
I'm like, tell me about this game. Well, you've got to get some wood and some rock and some hay, and I'm like, that sounds so boring.
There's lumber, wool, grain, and ore that you're collecting, and you're basically you're building like houses and roads, and you're it's almost like Monopoly in a way, where you're kind of like trying to get the most area and building and stuff, and like trading and everything. It's a fun game if you're a fun person.
No.
Oh, okay. If you're
It's
a
really fun in a
settler.
group. It's really fun in a group because like you're trying to convince people to trade with you and do stuff, and
Oh,
um,
it sounds so much fun.
trying to trade wood for sheep.
Oh, now that's fun.
It's almost like there's plenty of video games that sounds like, right, like the
Mhm.
RPG or or whatever MMO games, MMO whatever they are, like the World of Warcraft or whatever. You know, you're gathering these things to build these things. It's of course a much bigger thing in World of Warcraft, but so it's a board game version of some of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
That's
fine.
good.
I'd
And
never played.
Or Minecraft.
and I'll do one more game, and then you guys can whatever you want. It's a game I played recently, which I found really fun, so we went out and bought it. It's another, you need like a group of players to play it.
Yeah,
It's called Betrayal at House on the Hill.
oh, I've
and
seen
so-
that one. I think.
So players all begin as allies exploring a haunted house filled with like dangers, traps, items, omens. And as players journey through the mansion, like new pieces are put on the board to kind of build the house out because you're kind of exploring. So each game is different based on that. But eventually the house like starts to get haunted by something. There's like all these different things there can be. There can be ghosts, there can be like werewolves and like all kinds of stuff that start to haunt the house. But eventually one of the players ends up becoming a betrayer and sides with the evil entity and tries to take down the rest of the players. And you're trying to do these tasks in order to like cleanse the house or get away free type stuff. And it's really fun. Like each character there's like their own persona that they can pick from. It's usually the typical like haunted movie characters, like
Yeah.
a jock or smart girl or the dumb girl or the smart guy. Lots of dumb and smart people.
Well, that's what
Like a child is one
scary
of them.
movies are.
Basically are. Like a professor and things like that. But it was really fun. Like, and you can like set like when we played it at Monica's house. We played it over there, and they set like a mood to put candles out and turn the lights
Oh.
down.
Way to go,
It's-
Monica.
The
Gotta get her back on the show.
mood was set.
I'm surprised you didn't.
It's really fun.
One of your favorite games wasn't the game that I bought you guys at one time. I'm sure you play it all the time.
all the time.
Bean Boozled?
Do you even remember what it was?
It's a zombie game. Dead something.
Dead Like Me.
I think it's a multiplayer game thing, and we have to play it.
Yeah, you just played all these other games with people.
Well, they invited us to their house. And they said we're playing this.
Dead
don't
of
like it,
Winter,
don't
I think.
Dead of Winter, yes, that's it. I gotta figure it out. It's one of those like Risk. It's like, oh, look at the.
It's got a
Look at the manual.
4.8 review. I mean, stars. 4.8 stars. So
It looks
out of
really good.
5.
I wanna.
I got it for you like years ago, so I mean, whatever.
It ages like a fine wine. We're waiting.
There was at a time where they're like, yeah, we're so like they would be like posting like all these board games like every day, like we're so into board games. It's like that'd be cool. I'll get my board game like one of these that they play for the present. And I gave it to them. They're like, oh, thanks.
It looks good. It looks fun, but like, and yeah, we were playing a bunch of board games at the time, and then we kind of like we slacked off, and
Yeah.
so
All my fault.
it's all your fault.
All right. Well, Katrin, you or me, it doesn't matter.
I'll go.
You
It's
sure?
fine.
I can go.
Yeah. So one of my favorites we've already talked about is Risk. It's a lot of fun. The hard part about it though is just finding people to play it. I mean, now that my son's into it, that's really exciting. But it's still, you got to have at least, to make it worth your while, you need at least 3 people. So we'll have to find somebody. Again, the good thing is we can play a mobile version of it or a video game version of it and have an AI player. So it makes it fun. I had this one game when I was growing up that was a version of it that another game I couldn't ever figure out, but it was fun to play with the parts because it was this big ocean board that was huge. At least I remember it being huge when I was a little kid, but it was this huge board and it had these battleship type things. It's not Battleship before you say Battleship.
Is it Battleship?
It's not Battleship.
I bet it's Battleship.
But there were these big plastic Battleship pieces that had rubber bands on them because I think you could shoot from them somehow, and they had these little tokens that you place down on the map. I meant to look it up before we started, but it was similar, I think, to like a Risk or those types of games like Axis and Allies or something like that, or Stratego or whatever it was. But anyways, so that's one of my top games. I don't know if it's my favorite of all time, but it's one of my top ones. I think a lot of the games that I like are kind of the strategy puzzle type games. And another one that it's a new one that it's a new game. I don't know how long it's been out, but not too long. It's called Blokus. Have y'all ever played that?
I've heard of it.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So what it is you've got these 4 colors, and there's this grid, and each color has this set of pieces that look like Tetris pieces, and you have to set them on your. You start in a corner, and you the goal is to get rid of all your pieces. You put your pieces on the board, and you can only touch the corners of the pieces. They're like Tetris pieces, so there's squares on there, so you can only touch the corner of a square of yours. You can touch the sides of another person's because what you have to do, you start again. There's 4 corners, so everybody starts from a corner, and you kind of meet in the middle, and you're trying to block the other person from being able to use one of their parts. So Blokus, right? At first, it's kind of overwhelming because you're just like, I don't even know where to start with these pieces. But then eventually, you start realizing it's like, okay, I need to try to use all my big pieces first, and get rid of everything because you count up how many squares you have basically on those parts. So it's fun. It's kind of a quick game. It doesn't take too long, which I like. But that one's pretty fun. Then I guess for my third one, it's another kind of new one to me, and I guess it's not super old. Is Apples to Apples. I just recently started playing that one, and we played it with family this weekend, and then one other time. it reminded me of what you were talking about with the judge. So I don't know if you're familiar with it, but yeah, you've got a card, and you try to get each person has to give a card that is closest to the word. So the word is mischievous, let's say, and then you have these cards that have a bunch of different words on them, like maybe it's a name of a person or mischievous, I guess is how you say that. Sorry. But there are different words on the cards, and you try to give something that is closest to that word. And then you have a judge that decides which one wins, and you switch judges. That's a lot of fun. So
Coolio.
Apples to apples. Yeah. I have one other game that I wanted to mention. That I played it one time, maybe twice, and it was one that you had, Ryan, and I think it was Beyond Balderdash. Does that sound?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So another one where you have a judge, and you have, you have these things. I can't remember now exactly, but other words, and you had to give definitions of it. It depended on what it was.
Yeah.
That was the Beyond Balderdash part, and let's say it was a year, and it was.
It was a date. It was a date, and you have to tell what happened on that date.
Yeah.
Or if it was a word, you have to give the definition, or a couple other things.
And one of them was the true one. That's what it was. And then the other ones could have been false one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a lot of fun
game.
Yeah.
We still have it.
Yeah, we need to play it.
I looked in the old game closet, and it's still there.
But it's one of those games that's more fun with a lot of people. Because if it's just like 3 people, it's like, this is getting old.
Yeah. Yep, there's a picture right there. It's down in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Anyways, all right. So let me start with my top favorite game of all time, because I have one.
Did we talk about it before?
We have talked about it before.
Okay, go ahead.
So I don't have to go into too much detail. You can go way back in the episode and find it. I think the title of the episode is actually the game.
Yeah,
so.
It is.
Top favorite game of all time. And I don't have it, and it's so sad that I don't have it. You could buy it on Amazon. I found for like $200.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you can find it on eBay probably, but it's probably for the same amount. It's Star Wars Epic Duels, and it is amazing. So basically, it's the boards look like there's different boards. So there's multiple boards that come with the game. So it should be called a boards game, I guess. So different locations, like they have the carbon freezing chamber, they have the Emperor's throne room, all these different boards, and then they have little miniature figures of the Star Wars characters, and you get a main character and a minor character. So you could have Han Solo with Chewbacca, or I think it was like Luke and Leia together, and Darth Vader had stormtroopers or something, and the Emperor had the rear guard. And you have a deck of cards for each player, or each of the characters, and they have attack, defend, special abilities on the cards. And you start with like 5 cards or something like that, and you battle each other until there's only one person left. So you're trying to kill the other players off. And each character has their own ability, so it's cool. So you got to figure out, if you're facing the Emperor, how you're going to defend against them. And you can only move spaces across the board. And if you have a lightsaber, you have to be like beside them or diagonal. If you have a blaster, you can shoot from across the board. It's just so fun. And we would play. One of my people in one of the bands that I had, they had it, and we would always play. And we would take it with us wherever we traveled, and we would play. And it's one of those games you stay up all night playing.
Mm.
And he loved it so much that he made his own characters and own character cards. So he would buy miniature characters, and he would make up the cards. And he would find people that made them up, and he'd print them off and stuff. So we had like every Star Wars character known to man, and it was so much fun. Because you had to figure out, like, okay, Boba Fett's cool, but is Boba Fett gonna beat these other players? You got to be careful who you choose, and and all this stuff, and if your main character dies, then certain minor characters will die too. So if you had Darth Vader and his stormtroopers, if Darth Vader died, then his stormtroopers died with him. But if you had like Luke and Leia, if Luke died, you could still keep playing as Leia, even though she was the minor character. And I know she's not a minor character; it was just a game.
Blasphemy.
So if anybody wants to get that for me, that's
Just,
one day I'd like to add to the collection. But it came out like when the prequels were out. I think like episode 2 or something. Because it had like Geonosis and stuff on it. Or was that? Yeah, that was 2. Episode 2, I think. So that was cool. My second favorite game is my favorite games are the games you play with like this with like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
It's Hero Quest. You remember Hero Quest?
No.
I remember the name. I forget what you do.
It's like a knockoff version of Dungeons and Dragons. So
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so Milton Bradley put out a knockoff version of Dungeons and Dragons called Hero Quest. Somebody gave it to me a long time ago, and we would sit in the basement and play that. Let's see if I can show you a picture. That's the front of the box. You guys can't see listening, but
Yeah, I remember playing that.
I still have it. I'd love to play it sometime. But basically, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. There's a game master revealing the maze-like dungeon. You have a wizard, an elf, a dwarf, barbarian, and you venture forth into dungeons on Fantasy Quest. And there's plastic miniatures and 3D furniture. Because it makes the game very approachable.
Oh, okay.
But it was cool. It's sort of like I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, but I guess this is what it's like.
I believe so.
I never played it, but a friend of mine made a game like it one time, and it was wrestling.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it was really cool because it was like you somehow you rolled for this certain move, and then you would roll for how much damage it took, and it was a lot of fun. I think we played it like once though, but it was cool to think about.
It's oh my goodness gracious! Sorry,
Just to be curious, I looked it up to see what can you buy that game now, Hero Quest? They on Amazon, someone's selling it for $796.
I just saw that. Oh, like I saw that. I'm like,
That's how we can fund our trip to Disney.
Because there's an ad.
Hero Quest.
Yeah, there's an ad that says get Hero Quest on Amazon.com from $179 to $796.
Wow.
Eligible for Super Saver shipping.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wow. Can I sell that thing for $700?
Sure.
How is that more than Star Wars Epic Duels?
No, it's crazy.
Like, is it? So who's selling it for that price?
I don't know.
Is somebody buying it though? I mean, it could just be somebody.
Yeah, I mean, someone.
Nobody's gonna buy it. It's just gonna sit there.
Yeah.
But there's
plenty
only
of people.
one for sale, and it's that price.
Well, it says there's 2 left in stock.
At that price?
What's
Yes.
the range? Or you said that it starts at 170. Is it missing
Well,
pieces?
just the one that I saw is like $797.
What's it on eBay? Let's find out.
That's why I was looking on eBay. Let's see. $149, $100, $149, $149, $259. Complete Milton Bradley. So they're not going much above 200. 240, 259. So yeah, if it's complete and like mint condition, I guess you can get over 99% complete. This is 175. So depending on how much you've got into, you might get about $200 for it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of these on eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not selling. Oh,
No.
there's advanced Hero Quest now that is $545.
Oh, wow.
It's
there's
probably
a,
rare.
There's a rare Star Wars Epic Duels board game, 90% complete, $55.
There
Oh.
you go.
Oh, there's one that's complete for $43. Oh, there's
Perfect.
6 bids on it though.
All right.
Anyways, so and then I guess my last game, Scrabble.
Scrabble. I was gonna list that as one.
I
like
love playing Scrabble.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
And it makes me feel smart because I'm better than my wife at it. She's like super smart. So it always makes me feel really smart, like I'm better at, like there's like this word game that we play on our phones. Let's see what it's called. It's called Wordscapes, and it's like Scrabble pretty much. Or it's like it's sort of like, well, it's not really like Scrabble. It's a word game. But you have to. I just want to show them what it looks like.
That one?
It's like
there
this.
was one for a while.
It's like this.
Oh.
So you got to figure out the words, and I'm always just like busting through them. And there's like all these cheats you can use, and I haven't used any cheats. I bust through them, and she'll be like sitting there like, I can't figure this out. I've used like 6 cheats, and I'll look at it and go, oh, that's moat or whatever, or malt. And she's like, what?
Yeah, I think last time I was there at your house, she was trying to come up with something. She says, "Do you see anything?" She handed me the phone, and I found a couple words and gave it back to her.
We used to play Words with Friends a lot. That was the big one.
It's
draw something or whatever. Same people.
And I would play that. What's the other one? The one you draw. That was like Words with Friends.
Pictionary.
No, the one that was like Words with Friends.
Oh, draw something.
Draw something.
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah. But nobody would want to play with me because I would always make like very detailed pictures. They're like, why can't you just make it fast? I'm like, I like
an hour later.
Yeah. You have to sit there
watched
and watch
a movie.
Yeah, draw. So yeah, Scrabble. I like Trivial Pursuit too because for some odd reason I have like 50 billion facts in my head or stuff like that, and I can just remember stuff like that. So I always win at that too.
Yeah, Disney Trivial Pursuit. They always we play that. And
I have a Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. And nobody will play that with me.
Well, no one can win.
I know, that's the problem. So I would beat everybody. They're like, yeah, we don't want to play that. Sorry.
Scattergories is another good one.
We had that growing up. We'd always play that. Yeah. But anyways, so we're already an hour in because we're just having so much fun.
You're not bored, are you?
I'm not bored at all. If I was playing like Settlers of Catan or something, I'd probably be bored.
But you'd also be a jerk.
I'm gonna be that anyways. So hit us with this quiz. What's this quiz?
Let's do this. All right. So I found this quiz of real versus bogus board games.
Oh,
so can you name the board games below as real or fake? So some of these are ridiculous, and so anyways, we'll I know the answers, so I'll let you all decide. Nobody wins anything unless I could give you this game. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Ooh, what's that game? I want that.
Oh,
it's a card game.
Star Wars? I want
it is a Star Wars. It's we haven't played it yet. I just opened it a while ago, but we got it about a couple months ago. I was like, oh, we'll try it. It was like $2. So, anyways,
I haven't played the game that you got me for my birthday.
Oh, I'm sure
because I have nobody to play with.
Oh, I see. You haven't played a game that someone got you? You're a terrible person.
I think I'm gonna take it with me when I go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and sit down on the Falcon somewhere and be like, hey, anybody want to play?
Yeah. So everybody else knows what we're talking about. It's the Han Solo, or from the movie Solo, the card game that they were playing. So it's those funny looking cards, and you're supposed to gamble and try to win the Millennium Falcon is kind of the idea, but it looks very hard.
You should dress as Lando Calrissian and go and try and play it with somebody.
I have the
ship. I know.
Costume.
Exactly.
You sure do.
I don't know if we've told that story. My wife bought a bunch of Star Wars costumes on sale, and one of them was Lando. She was like, "You wear this?" And I'm like, "I don't think I can wear that."
Okay.
Now you can. Okay.
All right. All right. So there are how many ever of these? There's 20 of them. All right. 20. Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll go through these fairly quickly, but the real ones, I've got them pulled up and we can talk about them if we're not familiar with them. So the first game is Blood Bowl. You think that's a real or bogus game?
Well,
Blood Bowl.
I played that game when I had kidney stones.
Ooh.
It's like, will it be a blood bowl?
I'm going with real.
Sure, yeah, I think real too.
It is real.
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it sounds too ridiculous.
So here's the quick description here. Blood Bowl is a game of fantasy football. Which, would you have guessed that? I don't know. The basic game features a match between two teams drawn from a number of fantasy archetypes, playing a warped version of American football. There's actually a video game that you can get that is Blood Bowl as well. So when I saw that at first, I was like, well, I know there's a video game. So is it the same thing? And I think it is. That's interesting. But
Blood Bowl.
All right. So very good. All right. The next one is Dingo Bingo.
Dingo Bingo.
If that's not real, it should be real.
Dingo Bingo. I'm gonna go with nah.
I think it's real.
All right. So it is bogus.
Oh
yeah. It was too cool of a name.
I know, and some of these,
I've
some
got
of these
an
are
idea, guys.
Dingo Bingo.
Let's make a Dingo Bingo game.
Yeah.
Maybe the dingo ate your bingo.
Yeah, and some of these you're like, why isn't that a game? And then others you're like, why is that a game? But so all right, so the next one is Ghetto-opoly.
That's a game.
Yeah,
it's a game.
That's definitely a game.
It's a
You're
game.
right. It is,
I think I've heard of that.
It's a parody of Monopoly released in 2002. It uses Monopoly-like mechanics in the atmosphere of a characterized United States ghetto. So yes, it is. There are so many opolies out there. It's ridiculous. There's a Tennessee opoly, and every state, I'm sure, has their own opoly. But all right, next is a game, or is it a game? I don't know. Chicken Cha Cha Cha.
Chicken Cha Cha Cha.
I think I had that for dinner last night.
Yeah.
Chicken Cha Cha
Is it
Cha.
real or bogus?
Sure, real. Why not?
Yeah, let's go with real. Yeah.
You are correct. The original German name I can't pronounce, but it's a board game for 2 to 4 players from 4 years onwards. Okay, so 4 and up. It was designed by Klaus Zock and self-published. It was illustrated by somebody. The game was awarded. Okay, it was awarded for a special prize for the children's games in this competition in 1998. So that's interesting. It consists of 24 egg-shaped plates with 12 pictures of chickens, rabbits, hedgehogs, flowers, and other things to be found at a hen house. 2 plates of every design and 12 blah, blah, blah. It's a game. It sounds weird.
Move
but,
along.
It's a game.
Move along.
you can jump over players and do these things. I don't know. But it won an award. That's pretty good. So Chicken Cha Cha Cha. So check it out if you interested. All right. The next game or bogus game is Thesaurus Rex.
Thesaurus Rex.
Or thesaurus and then the word Rex.
Nah.
I think I've heard of this game, or I've heard of Thesaurus Rex. I know that. Sure, I'll need to come back. So yes, it's real.
Is bogus.
Oh,
It's not a game.
It should
There
be.
are some other things. There's a book called Thesaurus Rex, it seems, but
That's
that is
probably what I
not
read.
That's probably what you're thinking of.
yeah.
All right, next is the Hell Game, and Hell Game is one word, which I thought that was interesting.
Hogum.
Could be a gift.
Helga?
Hogum.
Hell Game.
Yeah, sure. I'll go with
Um,
true.
I don't know why it wouldn't be. So sure.
All right, the Hell Game is a board game of diplomacy and intrigue among the demons of hell. Each player assumes the role of a triumvirate. I don't know that word.
Triumvirate.
Sure, of demons on a quest for power and notoriety, and the winner is the first player to claim control of one of Hell's circles and have his claim recognized as just by Lucifer Morningstar, ruler of Hell. 2 to 6 players.
Okay, so just so
great.
you know, Thesaurus Rex is a game.
I didn't.
I'm sorry.
Thesaurus Rex, simple boggle style word game.
Oh, good grief. Well, so
just saying,
according
is that
to the quiz,
a board
it's
game?
not a game.
It's a boggle style game.
Yeah, it's a boggle style. Hey, I didn't make the quiz, so I did try to look at a few of these just to make sure.
Oh, it's fine.
But
It's fine. Chris needs to win something.
I didn't know we were competing against each other, but we can do that.
Oh, we're not.
All right. The next one is Kill Dr. Lucky.
Kill Dr. Lucky. Like
I want this
Sonic
to
the
be
Hedgehog
real.
game. I think. I'm gonna go with yeah.
I know. I want this to be real. Sure.
You would be correct.
Yes.
It was developed and released in 1996 by Cheap Ass Games.
Whoa.
It's the name of a company. I'm just reading. It's the name of the company. In 1998, Kill Dr. Lucky won the Origins Award for Best Abstract Board Game of 1997. It is in concept a sort of inversion and perhaps a parody of Cluedo. Clue in North America, or Cluedo. I don't know how you pronounce that, but both games are set in a sprawling mansion full of colorfully named rooms. Colorfully, that's a hard word. Named rooms feature a variety of dangerous weapons and deal with the murder of the mansion's owner. So it's like Clue.
Okay.
There you go. All right, next one is Primordial Soup.
I've had that.
Sounds familiar.
It's tasty.
Like,
It does.
I'm gonna go with yeah. I think it might be. I don't know.
Sure, why not? I don't care.
All right, you'd be correct. It's a board game designed
Yeah.
by Doris Mathhaus and Frank Nestle.
Good
German
old Doris.
Yeah, it was first published in 1997 in Germany under the name Ursuppe, Ursuppe. I don't know. Or usurp? No, not usurp, but whatever. And this original one, it won a prize in 1998. So each player guides a species of primitive amoeba drifting through the primordial soup. The player controls whether and how their amoebas move, eat, and procreate using 10 biological points, which he or she receives each turn. The player may evolve their species by buying gene cards, which give the amoebas abilities such as faster movement. That's interesting. So there you go. Primordial Soup is real.
Procreate through the whole game.
That's right. All right. Next one is the really nasty horse racing game. Real or bogus?
What?
Really nasty horse racing.
Really nasty horse racing.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, but why?
So it is a real game. You can get it on Amazon. The world of horse racing has long been associated with cheating in all its forms, but few games have ever attempted to simulate that aspect. Players are assigned a horse and must move it around the track by rolling a single die. This would be rather boring if the game didn't allow for players to bet on another player's horse. So the dilemma is whether to move your horse badly, just to make it easier for the horse you bet on to win. Even that could be boring, but then each player is issued cards which allow them to commit dirty tricks. For instance, making a horse fall or forcing the winner to take a drug test. All in all, it makes for some very interesting racing. That does sound interesting. I don't know. But maybe like once.
Maybe once.
Maybe once. All right, good job. Yeah, some of these you're just like, it's got to be a weird name. Okay. The next one, this is number 10, as Cannibal Quest. Is it real or is it bogus?
I'll go with false on this one. Why not?
Cannibal Quest. I got a good cannibal joke. Maybe we'll end on that at the end. Cannibal Quest? I don't think so.
You are correct. It is not a game,
Yeah,
a board game, anyways. So
It is a game.
it's a real life.
it's a book.
thing.
It seems. And whenever I Google it, Elder Scrolls 5 comes up for some reason. So apparently there is a Cannibal Quest there. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
All right, next, number 11. Sorry, I can't even say it. Kooky Carpenters.
Yeah, that's got to be real.
Yeah, I've played that one several times.
Well, you'd be wrong.
Oh,
It's bogus.
I said bogus.
Ah,
So, yeah, there you go. All right, next one. Hey, Pa, there's a goat on the roof.
Ah,
yeah, that's real. It's got to be
that's
real.
a Tennessee game.
We played that all the
Yeah,
time.
we
as
played it all the time.
All right. So, Hey Pa, There's a Goat on the Roof was a children's board game issued by Parker Brothers in 1966, which that cracks me up just because that they,
It came with
Had
a
that
real
set up.
goat.
right? The main objective to the overall game is to get more cans than any other player. The player with the most cans wins the game. What does that have to do with the game? Revolves around a game board featuring plastic farm-related items sticking out of it. Each player selects a goat as his or her playing piece, placing the pieces along the goat pin on the board. Players move the goat-shaped pieces around the board, attempting to complete tasks that reward them with 10 can pieces. The first player to move their goat onto the roof of the barn ends the game, and that at that time, whatever player has the most cans wins.
Well,
There you
There
go.
you
It has a
go.
spinner.
how many more do we have? We're about hour 15 in.
Sorry, yeah, we're getting there. All right, next one. I love this one.
There's 50 more.
There's no, we're that was number 12, I think. So 13, Yank It with an exclamation point.
Yank it.
Yank
I started to say something, but
it.
I won't.
Yeah, they're like a sister of Bop It.
Yank it. Ow!
Nah, I want to go with no.
Is it the Canadian version of Bop It?
It could be.
Yankity.
Yank It.
Oh, I don't care. Just, yeah, whatever.
It's bogus.
Oh.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I got
good
it.
job.
I sort of stopped keeping score. That's the game
Yeah,
for our
it's fine.
listeners. They can go back and figure out
Tell
who
us
the
the
winner is.
score.
That's the game.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. The next one is Stump the Nun.
Something. Yeah, that's got to be real.
Yeah, I've played that many times.
It's bogus.
Oh,
I've played it many times.
All right. Next one is Jinkies! Exclamation point.
Jinkies.
Velma's Monster Mystery.
Oh,
Yeah, that's real.
She had her own game, and we don't have this.
It's bogus.
Oh.
Really?
I
Oh.
thought at first I read it that it was real, and then I read it again. I was like, oh, I can't read
Velma.
apparently,
She didn't
because I
have her own
googled and I
game.
couldn't find it, but it's not a game. So
Oh.
unfortunate. All right, next one is Crash! Exclamation point. The Bankrupt game.
Sounds
Sure.
so much
Yeah.
fun.
Yes, it is an Italian card game created in 2003 by an Italian guy I can't pronounce, and published by Rose and Poison, a small publisher of RPGs. In this game, the players, all multi-billionaires, must force all the adversaries to dissipate their properties and go bankrupt. So I'm sure it's
There you go.
Sorta like-
That's fun
All right.
times.
yeah, fun times. The next one is Stilts and Kilts.
Stilts and kilts.
Not a good combination because
Played that game in real life several times.
Somebody's on a stilt and they have a
I-
kilt on.
I want it to be a game, so yes.
Is it like a sister to Shoots and Ladders, or
Stilts and kilts, yeah. Could be.
Stilts and kilts. Oh,
sure?
Unfortunately, it is bogus.
That's how I
Oh.
said. Sure, it's bogus.
All
right.
right, we got 3 more, and we'll be finished here. But the next one is "Dance for Your Life!" Exclamation point. Bogus or real?
Real.
Bogus.
It is bogus.
Oh, I got one.
Came with the name. This next one is Mall Madness.
That's
Yes,
real.
that's real.
Yeah, that was out of all of these on here, except for Ghettopoly and Blood Bowl. I was like, I know that one. Mall
That's a
Madness.
total 80s game.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shopping-themed board game released by Milton Bradley in 1988. Later versions were titled as Electronic Mall Madness, which I remember because you had the credit
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Well, the girls did. I didn't play the game. But
Yeah. Sure. You played
And,
that with your college roommate
yeah,
after
with
Twister.
After Twister, it's time for Mall Madness.
no.
Terrible.
Milton Bradley updated the game in 1996 with a new design, and another updated version was released in 2004. Targeted consumer was teenage girls, usually 11 to 16 years old.
I know what you're getting for Christmas. Mall Madness is coming your way.
Oh, the Hannah Montana version was the first version to picture a male on the front of the box.
Oh, wow.
As
Oh
well
my
as
God.
Hannah Montana, probably.
As well as Hannah Montana. All right, last one is Squatter.
There's a lot of poo games out right now. Have you noticed that? There's a lot of board games revolving around poop right now.
I'll go with real.
Yeah, I think it's maybe real. It's one of the Canadian poop games.
Yeah, it's a real game.
Italian?
It was launched. Oh no, it's not Italian. No, is a board game that was launched at the Royal Melbourne Show in 1962.
Oh, it's close.
Invented by Robert Crofton Lloyd. With more than 500,000 games sold in Australia by 2007, it became the most successful board game ever developed in Australia. As of 2018, there are still squatter competitions and active squatter clubs. In 1999, a version became available on PC CD-ROM. However, the PC version was not commercially successful and is no longer available. Okay, so the idea is it has the appearance of a Monopoly type game. However, unlike Monopoly, all players remain in the game until the end. Players each start the game with their own sheep station and aim to be the first player to improve and irrigate their pastures and then fully stock their sheep station. Players run their sheep station as a business venture to earn enough money to pay for seasonal running expenses. So it's like a farming game, and you're trying to get money and all that. So it's interesting.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So what's your favorite board game, listeners? Let us know on Twitter at I Am Geek Show or on Facebook or in our group, I Am Group. That's a plug. So, well, that was fun.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of board games we didn't even mention that I've played over the years. And then there's versions of the games that I've played with my wife's family that they make up their own rules. I think we talked about that before. And you like, how did you win? And like, well, I did this. And I'm like, you can't do that. It's illegal. But anyways, you want to hear my my cannibal joke? Since you
you
want to end on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not my personal joke. I heard it from the great Harrison Ford. You know, me and him chat every now and then. So I guess I could do it in the Harrison Ford voice. That might make it better. But I don't know.
Can you?
You just got to sort of deep,
That's
well, when did Harrison Ford come in the room?
Anyways, okay, here's my cannibal.
goodness.
Here's my cannibal joke, and then we'll get out of here until next time. So now I got to yawn. That's great. It's that funny that it makes me yawn. All right, so there was this cannibal walking down, a path one day, and he on the path he met another cannibal, and the other cannibal was like, "Hey, how you doing? How's life? What's going on?" He goes, "Yeah, it's life's good. I just don't I haven't been feeling great lately. My stomach's been hurting. I just don't feel like myself. I just feel bad." The other cannibal's like, "Well, what you been eating?" He's like, the normal, missionaries, every once in a while some, just whoever pops in, mostly, missionaries and stuff. And the other camel's like, "Oh, it's normal fare around here, what we eat. How'd you cook them?" He's like, "Oh, I just, normal, I got the big pot, boiled some water, put them in, sliced up some vegetables, normal way we cook, in the village there. I guess, yeah. That sounds right. What did he look like? Maybe something. What did he look like? Well, he had a brown robe on. Nothing fancy. He had a little rope as a belt. He was bald on top. He had hair sort of around, to the sides. Other cannibal goes, oh, well, that's your problem right there. What you had there was a fryer.
I don't get it.
You got to fry them up, and you can't boil those.
Like fryer chicken.
Oh,
So you fry it.
fry them. Oh, that's hilarious.
I have
Our parents thought it was hilarious, and Jimmy Fallon thought it was funny when Harrison Ford told him. But
I have a quick cannibal joke. Why don't cannibals eat clowns?
because they taste funny.
Actually, I thought that's where you're going with it because I was like, he ate a clown. That's why he doesn't feel it because it tasted.
Oh, see, I went to the other because there's a fryer. You know what Chris doesn't know what a fryer is.
I know what a fryer is.
He doesn't know what a
duck.
fryer is.
I don't know.
He knows
Yeah,
what a fryer is, but in a fryer.
fryer.
I like it. I can tell you Jimmy Fallon joke, but you guys might think it's funnier than that one. But I thought that one was better. But we were driving, so my dad and I were telling each other jokes, and he started just telling a bunch of jokes, and he said, "I'm going to keep telling them until you get one of them, and then I'll stop." We're like, "Oh no!" And he finally told one that because he was looking them up on his phone, so they were bad, like they were really bad. He finally said, "Ask me how much I know about bonsai trees," and I was like, "Very little." He's like, "Oh, you got it." So that ended the jokes. Anyways, so I'm glad you got a kick out of it. I hope the listeners laughed because they know humor. And that's why they listen to us, I guess.
Maybe they don't.
It's a fryer. Anyways. All right. Well, that's been episode 106. I hope you've enjoyed the board games and haven't been bored by us talking about them. But we got a special guest coming up in a few weeks, so that'll be fun. We got a lot of stuff going on over the summer. So tell your friends, let everybody know. And again, if you're on Podbean, give us a comment. That helps out a lot. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a comment, rate us 5 stars. 5 stars.
5 stars.
Until next time, this has been I Am Geek.
Bye-bye.